Well, hello, church family. This is Pastor Washington again, and I'm just coming again real quick with another inspirational quick fix. I'm sitting in my car like I often enjoy doing during times of my break, and it's a nice bright day. A lot of light shining today, and it made me think about how we as Christians we should be shining lights in the midst of darkness. And as I was thinking about that, my mind actually took me back. I can remember when I was in the military, and I know I talk about the military a lot, my Marine Corps experience. But being in the Marine Corps for 23 years, that gives you a lot of material to draw from your own personal experience, things that you have encountered. And as I thought about my military experience, one of the things that I thought about is how you would leave one command and transfer to another command, and each time you would show up at a new command, you would be required to check in at different places, like different departments. And one of the departments that you always had to check into was your supply department, and that is where you received all your field equipment. That's where you receive your helmet and like your sleeping bag, your backpack. When I was in it wasn't called backpack, it was called Alice Pack. I think the acronym was all lightweight individual carrying equipment. So these were some things that you received as part of your field equipment. Another thing you received was a flashlight. Now, one of the things that was unique about this particular flashlight, now you can buy these flashlights at surplus stores, at some of your military exchanges, but in the infantry unit, it was actually part of your supply equipment. And one of the things that was unique about this particular flashlight is that this flashlight had a compartment. And within this compartment, there were different color lenses. Typically, it was like a dark blue lens and a dark red lens. Now, the primary lens for the flashlight was a regular white lens, and that flashlight was really bright. Now, the reason why you would get these additional lenses, because when you were in a field environment or some operational environment, or even in a combat environment, if your job required you to perform a duty at nighttime during dark hours, you were expected to utilize light discipline. Now, what light discipline means is anytime you knew you had to work at night, you had to take off that bright lens and you had to replace it with either the dark blue lens or the dark red lens. And basically what that allows you to do, it provides enough light for you to be able to perform your job, but it didn't shine bright enough for the enemy to be able to see you. Because the last thing you want to do when you're working in the dark is work with that bright light. And then the only thing the enemy would have to do is just pretty much shoot in your direction, and he could either seriously injure you or to kill you. So we were required in those situations to dim our light. So what I want to talk about today is briefly don't dim your light. For the Christian, our mentality should be just a reverse. In this day and time where there's so much darkness, the last thing we want to do is dim our light. And there are several different ways how we can dim our light. We can dim our light by the way we talk, unwholesome conversation, ungodly conversation. We can dim our light by our fears. That's the reason why you would dim your light in a combat situation, because you would have a fear of light drawing attention to yourself, which would cause you to get shot. So oftentimes in this Christian walk, one of the ways we dim our light is because of fear. We fear ridicule. Sometimes when we standing up for the cause of Christ, we will receive persecution at the end of that. We will receive ridicule. So a lot of times, often, you find yourself dimming your light because of fear. Again, you can dim your light by the way you talk, unwholesome conversation. You can dim your light by by the way you walk. Christians, we are required to live a certain lifestyle. We just don't act and we just don't do the things that the world does. And sometimes we'll find ourselves playing along because we don't want to face persecution or ridicule. But don't dim your light. Let your light shine. We are commanded to let our light so shine in this world. So today, again, just remember, as we walk through this Christian walk, it is important for us not to dim our light. Let our light so shine. Why? So that our Father in heaven may be glorified. Well, that was real quick. Hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time, as always, Pastor Washington loves you. Take care, and God bless.